coaches! So today we are going to talk about objections, the dreaded objections that we all wish were not part of our lives, but they are. Whether we were in coaching or any other business, objections are just part of the game, but it is how you deal with them that's going to determine your success as a Beachbody coach. So whether you're just starting off or you are 15-star diamond, big darn deal, objections happen. We just have to know it and we have to deal with it. And first and foremost, know that objection does not equal rejection. Sometimes we take objections personally and we feel like it's a personal no, like they said no to us. They didn't. For whatever reason they couldn't handle at the time or they weren't ready for it at the time, that's okay. Just know we're gonna have to get through some of those objections to get to the other side. But there are things you can do to help prevent them and then help overcome them when they do get to you. So 3 tips I have for you today. Number 1, you've got to build value. So you have to be so passionate and so confident in what you're asking them to do that it almost becomes impossible for them to have any reason to not want to jump on board to train. Whether it's coaching or challenging, jumping in, you have got to be excited. So you have got to have a story that sells and a story that makes them just as passionate as you are. So that's pressing play on your workouts, drinking your Shakeology, and knowing about the products that you don't personally do. That's huge because that's going to build your confidence and empower you further to help someone else out. You want to be able to connect the right product with the right person. And if you don't know much about it, it's hard. You tend to go to the product that you're doing because it's what you feel comfortable with. So even if you never want to dance ever in your whole life, jump on that Beachbody On Demand and try the sample workout just so you know. You can speak about the trainer, you can speak about the program, and you can feel confident when you're recommending specific programs for specific people because that's half the battle. If you can connect a program that's going to speak to someone and get them fired up and excited, they're a lot less likely to have any objections. So you want to know that. Know your product so you can be confident in it. That starts with communication as well. You want to be super confident in your story and what you're doing. That starts with posting. So you're overcoming objections before you ever actually get that one-on-one. Because if they have a relationship with you already from your post because you're so confident and you're motivating and you're inspiring and you're sharing your story, by the time they get to you, they already feel like they have this relationship with you and they already have a concept of what they're getting into. So they just want to jump on board. Whatever it is you're doing, I am doing it too. And that's what you want because you have a lot less objections if you are able to come across that confident and that excited. So don't worry, it comes with time, but it starts with posting and it starts with just emerging yourself. So get comfortable being a coach, get comfortable posting, and get comfortable with what Beachbody has to offer because it's going to make building value so much easier. Tip number 2, when you do get objections, and we will, I wish that we didn't, but gosh darn it, some people need a little extra nudge to get them where we want them to go. So just know, you probably had objections whenever you started, whether it was with coaching or jumping into the challenge. Most definitely you had some kind of objection. Remember what that feels like and use that to connect with people. So when people have an objection, you want to focus on asking them questions to dive deeper. So tell me why you have that hesitation. Tell me kind of what you thought maybe you wanted to spin. Tell me how you think that you might be able to incorporate into a healthy lifestyle so that I can best suit and best help you. Common objections are always going to be time. Common objections are always going to be money, it's too expensive, or hesitations just because they're unsure of the product itself, whether they just don't know much about it, or maybe for some reason in translation your excitement wasn't coming off the table, so they're like, is it worth $140, $160? Oh, they don't see the value, so they might send you an objection like, oh, I'm just super busy. Sometimes that's just I don't really want to do it sort of thing, so I'm gonna just slide in the I'm too busy because it's super common. Everybody is too busy, but people find time for the things that they see important. So it's our job to make sure that they see it as important. But if they do come back with that, you can always start with your story. So you want to say, if it's about money or it's about time or it's a hesitation, doesn't matter. All you want to say is, when I first started, I thought blah, blah, blah. But once I finally jumped in, here's my fabulous positive experience story. However it's changed your life. Maybe it's weight loss, maybe it's confidence, maybe it's emotional, maybe it's health. Whatever that is, that's your story, and that resonates with people. So use that connection. Empathize with what they're saying. Ask them questions to dive into further why they have that objection that they do have, and then use your story to help connect with them. Makes a world of difference. So don't let that objection be an immediate conversation over, because there's a lot of people that you can still pull back from that if you just dive a little deeper and get that emotional connection. Number 3 tip kind of folds in after that, asking the questions. Sometimes when we get objections, we start to focus on those objections too. So if they're like, oh, I'm too busy, or oh, it's too expensive, you're like, oh, it's a lot of money. And you start to kind of lose your confidence. That big, empowered, passionate spirit that you started with starts to wane. You can't let that happen. When they give you an objection, you've got to focus it back to their goals. What did they tell you they wanted to do this for? Why did they say they wanted to be a coach in the first place? Bring it back to that. I know that you said you're super busy, but I just know that you would be an amazing coach, and you told me that you're super passionate about being able to pay off that debt before you turn 30, and I want to be here to help make sure that that happens. Give them that connection, and then let them know you have their back. I know that it's expensive. You are absolutely right. I felt the same way when I first started. It is truly an investment into yourself, but now that I'm in it, I really see the value that has changed on me, and I know that you have the goals of feeling better and dropping that baby weight, and I guarantee you, if you stick with me and you stick with this program, you're going to see those results, and that's what's most important to me. So focus on what they want to accomplish. Focus on the results that you know they can achieve if they just stick with you. And that resonates with people. Using that story to get them excited, because the most important thing is we're here to change your life. That's all. I'm a coach. You're a coach. We want to change lives. And we often get so bogged down by the thought of the objection, and we feel like we're not doing our job if somebody has an objection, that we lose that and we get lost in that, okay, well, it is expensive, and I mean, they are busy, they have like 4 kids, and I know it's rough when you're moving, and I kind of get it. No, you know that if they truly want it, they're going to make time and they're going to find the money. But it takes you to be that push factor to get them where you want to go, because at the end of the day, you know that if you can get them on board, they're going to see such an amazing life, and they're going to see such amazing results. They're going to truly have a life change, but they can't get there if you can't get them there. So use that as your motivator, and use that as your passion to not get bogged down by objections, but see it as an opportunity to really get them excited and passionate. Because then when you do get them on board, you feel like, I've conquered the world. And that's huge. Just remember as we wrap up, so number 3 tips. So you have your first tip, which is build value. If you don't build value, you're fighting an uphill battle, and it just makes it too hard. When they do have objections, tip number 2, ask questions. Dive deeper in, because that tells you more. And the more that someone talks, the faster that they convince themselves that this is the right opportunity for them. Number 3, bring it back to their why, their goals, and what they want to accomplish, because it reminds them of why they got excited about in the first place, and it helps to redrive that passion. Lastly and finally, as we close out, just remember, if people have objections, it's not you. It's not because they don't like you. It's not because you're not a good coach. It's not because you weren't meant for this business. That's not true. This takes all shapes and sizes. It's just being able to funnel your story and funnel your passion in a way that people just can't say no. They just can't imagine their life without figuring out whatever you did to get as happy as you are, they want to do it too. So bottom line, be you, be happy, be passionate, and everything else will fall into place. Let me know if you have questions. For today's assignment, I need you to post below one objection that you know you're going to get, or maybe that you've already gotten, and how you overcame it, or how you'd like me to help you overcome it, because I'm happy to give you suggestions, tips, comments, anything to help you kind of work out those kinks, because I know it's tough in the beginning. So comment below. Let's get a conversation started. Have an awesome day.